So I decided to just clump all the footage together from the first session to our session. So this first part is you'll see where it's just like he really got things fast. He's a really great dog. So he was doing his sit, he was doing his hand target, which I showed you. When he goes to jump, I give him that and he doesn't jump. And then here I'm kind of assessing his impulse if he was going to jump for the cookies since he knew they were there, and he laid down, which was very nice. So once he was really good with just those basics and he was flown along really nicely, I leveled up and used the doorway, which most dogs really struggle with. So we did our basic walking. And then just like we did in our session, I at one point asked him for a wait and see what he does with the door. But the walking's looking really good. And let me know when you get your leash too. And I know things will kind of be really good for you guys from there. So interest in the door, but still follows along with the boundaries. And I think he just gets cut out of frame here. And I do approach the door, asking for the wait, approaching the door, asking for the sit and the wait. He does amazing, asking for the wait while the door is open more. So once we approach, then he's kind of like, what's out there? But overall, still responsive. Again, really, really lovely dog. He got scared by the curtain there. So then I started to do impulse when it came to when I released him and then called him to me without being in front of the doorway. And he did amazing at that as well. So I gave him a little break, gave him a little love. So there is someone here that is picking up their dog. So I used this moment to kind of work with him when the dog comes out. I ask him for a down, which is a more reliable stay position or like waiting position. And I knew I was going to leave him there and just wanted to see what his impulse was. So you could see the other dog comes through, greets the owner. He sees the other dog, obviously, and they're getting all excited, and there is no leash. He's just working off commands, and then I called him to me instead of releasing him to go see the dog. So he's very interactive, very, very engaging dog, super smart when we get to the footage of when we're working together. He picked up on things really fast, and here I was testing since he loves people. Does he respond to cues even though he wants to go greet people? And he did. He laid down. So here's our session. And I wanted to add the footage of you working with him because you did awesome. And I know it's a little weird. You could see probably the stiffness when you're walking. And I would think we talked about it. It's really weird when you're first like getting used to like, okay, I'm just walking the dog and not worrying too much about what he's doing. So we're introducing all those basic exercises that I did in my session with him to get your motor skills fine-tuned. So this is the exercise where we were approaching the doorway, asking him to wait without any leash pressure and seeing if he would wait. And this is where his smart noggin kind of comes in. He started to pick up the approach of the door. So you'll see him like start pausing. It's just so crazy. I love to watch the dogs figure things out. So, and then here is Liz had approached the doorway, that gal that works at the front that he really loves. So then we did it where we were going out into the lobby, which was exciting. And I didn't even think to bring the camera out there to get that footage, but you did super awesome there. And using whatever environment you can to get different kinds of like turns and things, like we had that desk to go around, it can really help your motor skills other than just going back and forth. Like back and forth is kind of the simple version of it, but when you start to add different kind of turns and obstacles and things, that can really fine tune how you communicate with the dog. So we had moved into the more exciting environment for him. You could see the dogs in the window. When we first came into the area, he is still kind of looking at them, wanting to go play. So I was using the doorway straight ahead to kind of build on the exercise we were doing. And then after he did well with that, I handed you the leash and made it hard. I do another sit down, which for most dogs, when you're sitting down on the ground, it's like an invite in itself. But we want to think like kids and things like that. If they don't know the dog, we can't go over and clobber them. So having this manners is really good. And then at this point is where I had you hold just the very end of the leash. So he was doing really well. And I want you to get in the habit of, after doing some drills with him, to hold just the very end of the leash and work his verbal cues. So we approach, he's following you very nicely. He gets a little distracted, but still not really a lot of tension on the leash. You ask for your sit. He lays down as he was tired at that point, but functions really nice. And he goes to jump. I tell him no. He goes for the sit, so I reward him. And then I think we do one more little twirl around of the long line, and he does awesome. So it's hard because we're so used to like controlling him with the leash. But when you start to recalibrate the interaction and it's like, hey, just follow me. Hey, just listen to me. And the leash is still there. So when he goes to sniff, like right here, he's like, you just give that little pop. And he's like, oh, okay. All right, we're cruising. So, and then we ask for his sit and he does awesome. So these are drills I want you to work, and you can practice in the house. You could practice in your driveway. When you're out on your walk, you could practice like little segments of sidewalk. I wouldn't do your whole entire walk like this because there are going to be exciting things. There are going to be things that kind of set him off to go into his bouncy mode. You can correct for those things and say and continue moving. He'd probably pick it up really, really, really fast. But just for development of your guys' motor skills and your communication with him, doing small blocks of exercises with him is going to be really, really helpful. And when you get the leash, like that's going to be really good for just when you need to like really see if he's understanding, and you just hold the little loop of it and just move with him and see if he's functioning off voice command. But yeah, at this time, always have him on a leash. And recall is another thing we'll kind of build into his homework. So next time we meet, and we'll schedule that over the weekend. I think we have one set up, but I'll have to look. And we'll really build recall for him. So come when I call you, and that's going to build off that hand target exercise that I showed you. But overall, again, super lovely dog. I love working with him. He's super smart. So you guys will come along very, very nicely. But I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you have any questions, you know how to reach me, and I will talk to you soon.